Venezuela is one of the most fascinating and misunderstood countries in the world, filled with unique geography, rich culture, dramatic history, and surprising facts that many people don't know, because it is home to the world's highest waterfall, Angel Falls, which drops an incredible 979 meters and is so tall that the water often turns into mist before reaching the ground. And Venezuela is also one of the few countries on Earth that contains almost every major type of natural landscape, including Caribbean beaches, snow-capped Andean mountains, vast grasslands called llanos, dense Amazon rainforest, deserts, mangroves and islands, making it a biodiversity hotspot with thousands of plant and animal species, many of which are found nowhere else. And interestingly, the country sits on the largest proven oil reserves in the world, even larger than Saudi Arabia's. Yet it has faced severe economic crises that show how natural resources alone do not guarantee prosperity, and uprising of Pecanan. Historically, Venezuela was among the richest nations in Latin America during the mid-20th century, attracting immigrants from Europe, especially Italy, Spain, and Portugal, which heavily influenced Venezuelan food, music, and lifestyle. And another lesser-known fact is that Venezuela is one of the few countries where lightning strikes are so frequent that one location, the Catatumbo region near Lake Maracaibo, experiences lightning up to 260 nights a year, earning it the title, Lightning Capital of the World. And this natural phenomenon was once used by sailors as a navigation tool centuries ago, and culturally Venezuela is famous for having won more Miss Universe titles than almost any other country, reflecting the strong cultural emphasis on beauty pageants, fashion, and grooming. But beyond that stereotype, Venezuelans are deeply warm, family-oriented, and expressive people who value social bonds, music, and celebration, and music itself plays a major role in Venezuelan identity, especially joropo, a fast-paced folk music style that originated in the plains and reflects the spirit of cowboys known as llaneros. And Venezuela also has one of the most unique Christmas traditions in the world, where in parts of Caracas, people sleep with a string tied to their toe and the other end tied to a bell. So children skating in the streets early in the morning can ring the bells to wake them for Christmas Mass. And speaking of skating, Venezuela is one of the few tropical countries to have produced world-class athletes in sports like baseball, where it is a major talent pipeline for Major League Baseball in the United States. And surprisingly, the country once had glaciers in the Andes, but due to climate change, nearly all of them have disappeared, leaving Venezuela close to becoming the first country in modern times to lose all its glaciers. And politically, Venezuela has one of the most complex modern histories in Latin America, shifting from dictatorship to the democracy, and then to a highly centralized system again, which has deeply affected daily life, migration, and the economy. And today, millions of Venezuelans live abroad, creating one of the largest migration movements in recent history. Yet they continue to strongly identify with their homeland through food like arepa, pabellón criollo, and hallacas, which are not just dishes but symbols of national identity. And another unknown fact is that Venezuela is named after Venice, Italy, because early explorers saw stilt houses built over water by indigenous people and thought they resembled Venice, calling the area Venezuela or Little Venice, which later became Venezuela. And the country is also home to ancient tepus, massive flat-topped mountains that are among the oldest geological formations on Earth, some dating back nearly 2 billion years, and these tepus inspired Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's novel The Lost World, as many of them have isolated ecosystems with plants and animals found nowhere else. And despite economic challenges, Venezuela has one of the richest artistic traditions in Latin America, producing influential writers, musicians, and visual artists, and its capital, Caracas, sits in a valley surrounded by mountains so close to the Caribbean Sea that you can travel from city skyscrapers to tropical beaches in under an hour. And an interesting social fact is that time in Venezuela is culturally flexible, with social events often starting much later than scheduled, reflecting a relaxed approach to daily life. And linguistically, Venezuelan Spanish has its own rhythm, slang, and musical tone that differs significantly from other Spanish-speaking countries, often dropping consonants and using expressive gestures. And Venezuela also has a deep indigenous history with dozens of native groups, such as the Wayuu, Yanomami, and Pemon, many of whom still maintain traditional ways of life connected to the land and rivers, and the Orinoco River, one of South America's largest rivers, plays a vital role in transportation, ecology, and mythology, and uniquely, it connects naturally to the Amazon River basin through the Casiquiare Canal, a rare natural river bifurcation. And in terms of wildlife, Venezuela is home to jaguars, anacondas, capybaras, pink river dolphins, and hundreds of bird species, making it a dream destination for nature lovers. And another lesser-known fact is that Venezuela once had one of the most ambitious public housing and modernist architecture movements in Latin America, especially during the oil boom years, and even today, remnants of that era can be seen in iconic structures. And despite all hardships, Venezuelans are widely known for their resilience, humor, and optimism, often using jokes and creativity to cope with difficult situations, which is why Venezuelan humor and memes are famous across Latin America. And finally, Venezuela is a country of contradictions, where extraordinary natural beauty exists alongside deep social challenges, where immense wealth in resources contrasts with economic struggle, and where a strong national pride continues to survive through music, food, family, and memory, making Venezuela not just a country, but a powerful story of nature, culture, endurance, and identity that continues to evolve.